A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
This Thanksgiving, Butterball wants you to really connect. Let's get back to sharing traditions together around the table. Let's talk like we used to. We'll help with the turkey so you can enjoy every moment. Visit Butterball.com for turkey tips.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, you ask me. I'll tell you anything.
So this is a bummer because this episode has a lot of fun stories and I really like this episode. As we were signing off, I knocked over my Zoom recorder and it fell on the ground and immediately turned off. No big deal, but that's why I'm not at the end of the episode. And then when I went to transfer the file, it had been wiped. So I guess that's how technology works. If you hit something hard enough, it disappears. So I apologize for the sound quality. We had to do it from the recorded Zoom meeting. And in the future, we will be recording directly through the computer so we never have to deal with this bullshit again. I apologize. Thanks for bearing with us.
Did you see my Instagram yesterday?
That you have a new friend, or I guess you gave up a new friend. You met a new friend.
I'll give you the abridged version, but for anybody who, so I guess this would have happened on Sunday night. We went to Found Oyster on Fountain, which is, right by the giant blue Scientology Center, which I'm positive they painted blue because it's probably like the cheapest color. And fucking probably Lowe's was like, we're discontinuing this pukey, sterile hospital blue. And they're like, we'll take all of it in Xeno's name. Long story short is we're waiting for our table. Yes, even super famous celebrities wait also. Waiting for our table.
Even celebrity chefs have to wait?
That's right. It's just a slam place. Like you can only go when you can go. And there's this family there. And the daughter's holding this dog. And like I hear through the grapevine of other people sitting there that apparently there were two dogs running around. One got hit by a car. This one ran away. The dog, it's fine. It was a giant tank of a pit bull that was just like, I hope the car's okay. And so I go up and I was like, excuse me, I have to get involved. Also, not that it really matters, but the mom was wearing a Jewish star and I was like, let's come together. And the daughter was just like holding this dog and they were like, it had like a duct tape collar. Like it looked like a runaway dog. And, they're like, we already have 3 dogs. We can't bring it home. And I was like, you have to take it to get scanned with the chip, but it's like a Sunday night. So like, is there a vet that's whatever? And my friend Bonnie, who was like, I was like, oh, I wonder if you can help. I texted a friend that runs a rescue. The friend was like, you got to get it scanned. Da, da, da. And Bonnie goes, what if you just walk the dog and see if it knows its way home? Because it's clear that it lives around here.
Smart. Yeah.
So I was like, we got 20 minutes. I only had a little bit of wine. I'll do it. So I just like took this dog for a walk and I started live streaming it. And the best part was like, I talked to, it's not a great neighborhood. I just talked to everyone. And all of a sudden, characters that like look sketchy turned out to be, shocker, superhuman. Very human, rather not superhuman. So one guy painting the fence and this lady doing something weird in her car. I did a little bit of Spanish that I knew and we're just walking and I just kept yelling out like, is this anyone's dog? Is this your dog? Is this your dog? Which would be weird if someone was walking by and they're like, oh, wait, that is my dog. And so all these people know I'm looking for this dog's home. And I turn the corner and I say to this woman, I just kind of being funny. I go, is this your dog? She goes, oh my God, that dog lives here. And his name was Kilo, which is funny. And I return it to this lady who not the lady who saw me, but the lady in this house. I knock on the door. The dog runs inside. I'm like, okay, bye. You're welcome. The lady could not have cared less and gave me such a weird, like response, she goes, "Where was he? Because I know where he is all the time." And I was like, "You sound like that's totally something that someone who totally knows where their dog is all the time would say." And I was like, "He wasn't here, and this is not the country, so you cannot let your dog just run away."
Right. And you didn't bring him back for a ransom. Like, you just brought him back.
It was so weird. And honestly, I put on my Instagram live because I was like, well, this will be a fun story. Like, there's no way we're going to find this dog's owner. And we did. And I had such an adrenaline rush. Like, I was so buzzy from it. And the best part was, of course, we found the dog his home. But I got to tell all the people I met on my way to find the home on the way back, like, guess what? We did it. Yo encontró la casa del perro. And it was just cool. And it was like a very human moment of like people hoping that this dog found its home. And it was just like a cute little adventure. Could have been a whole movie. And it was great. The dog had a very taut set of testicles.
Taut?
Yeah, taut.
Oh.
Taut, like tight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Living in LA, if you live in like a decent part of LA, you don't tend to see animals with like full testicles unless it's like a show dog. People who own pit bulls tend to be like, no, I'm never taking away her manhood. Anyway, that was it. That was very cool. And it stayed with me. I was like, I had like trouble going to sleep because I was so excited we found this dog's home.
You know what? I've thought about buying one of those chip scanners before. I haven't, but you can buy them for yourself. And I almost have a few times. You have to be already living with a woman and already fostering dogs to qualify to have an in-home chip scanner. Like me and Gail, it's not something, you don't just have that. Oh, I want to scan some cats, some neighborhood cats.
Scanning up and down these streets. That was my, but we're coming to you. We're doing this episode on Memorial Day. And yeah, I was watching this thing and someone was like, never say happy Memorial Day. And I was like, that's absolutely right. Memorial Day is a day in our country where we remember all of the soldiers who fought for our freedom so that we could have 10% off a food processor on the Macy's website. That's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about fucking anything anymore.
No,
but in case
like
you're
having a day
listening,
off.
Yeah, we. I don't know. I know the Gen Z is out to erase all of our history and make sure no one knows how anything was formed because it was all formed by people being oppressed and killing people. That being said, I still am grateful for the country I live in. Sorry if that makes me a boomer. What? You never weigh in. You don't even care about the military.
I don't particularly care about this country. No, that would be accurate.
Why? Then why are you here?
Where else am I going to go?
What do you mean you don't care about? You can go anywhere. You can go somewhere else.
You think I'm going to get up and go somewhere?
You would care. I'll tell you what. You go to Europe and all their products don't have corn. You get so sick. And you know what they don't have there? You know what the rest of the world doesn't really do that we do? Ice.
Oh.
You go to Europe, you're like, can I get ice in this? They're like, we don't have.
So they're just drinking their coffee hot?
And they sure shit don't have root beer. Oh, and they don't drink drip coffee.
That doesn't. What do you mean? What do they drink?
Oh, almost everybody in the world drinks espresso or like a pour over. Like drip coffee is an American thing. And it is the only cultural divide that I find it hard to get over when I travel. I'm like, I just need a big cup of shitty coffee.
And they were like, you can have this teeny one and it's so good.
Have you seen one? It's supercharged and it's very bitter. Don't you want this? Don't you want espresso all the time? No, Italy. I don't.
No, Italy.
Joke's on them. Because I drink espresso if I have to in the day. And they're like, it's just a breakfast drink. I'm like, joke's on you. Starbucks took it away. Let's get to the questions.
Do you want to start with
you have
fight?
A thoughtful Memorial Day.
Fight me?
Yeah, let's do a fight me. I'm already in the mood.
I know. You're ready to fight. Let's see how you feel about this one.
Hi, Iliza and Emily. This is Sarah from Maine. My fight me is wearing sunglasses as if they are a hair accessory. Wearing sunglasses on the top of your head is not cute. And I especially don't like it when women will style their hair, do their hair, wash it, make it look nice, and then the crowning piece, the accoutrement on top, is the sunglasses. This makes you look like Kate Goslin from Kate+8. It's not cute. This came to me when I was in the grocery store and I needed to put my hair back with my sunglasses because my bangs just look gross and I didn't want them on my forehead, and I just felt icky for doing it, but I didn't want my bangs exposed. I feel like that's the only acceptable time is if you need to hide your hair. But if you're styling your hair with the sunglasses as the accessory, I don't like it. Fight me.
I like how she says this came to me like it was some divine intervention, brilliant thesis.
Yeah.
This came to me while I was
In a
hiking
dream.
the Appalachian Trail.
God told me directly.
I guess I have to fight you only because I don't think anybody, even though sunglasses are an accessory, I don't think anybody puts them back thinking like this will replace my headband. I think it's just like in a pinch, you don't want to take them off, so you put them up because you're about to put them back down. So I think, no pun intended, the lens through which you are looking at this is fractured.
I'm fighting you too. I'm fighting you too because you know who always rocks sunglasses as their headband? Jane Rizzoli in Rizzoli and Isles. And I think it's a great look. I think it's a great look, but it only works on someone that's like already hot. You know what I mean? Like in the same way that any stupid clothing, you're like, oh, that person's a model, so it looks good. Like someone who looks cool and has sunglasses perched on the top of their head, it looks cool.
Like a big full head of hair. It can be very mid-Atlantic preppy.
Ooh,
I bet you Princess Diana had done that, even though that's the wrong descriptor. Still, it could look very moneyed if it's an expensive pair. Like nice Ray-Bans. I will allow this. I shan't fight you if you admit that this is an equal opportunity fight, because I think when guys wear them on top of their hats indoors, like you couldn't leave them in the truck.
What about when guys wear them backwards so that they're in the back of their head? I don't understand that. Why? That's not a storage area. That's the back of your head.
Men's pockets are already deep, but not deep enough for my glasses, and I had to bring them in. I had to bring them in. That's a good one. You know what, though? I could tell by the way she said it, like it's one of those little things that really bothers her that most people don't think about. And I live for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like when people pronounce it aesthetic, because everyone's dumb now. It's a TH, folks, and you learned how to speak in school. Like people my age are like, and the aesthetic. And I'm like, I don't want you touching anything in my home or clothing wise.
Right. Are we talking about an esthetician or are we talking about an aesthetic?
Thank you. Either way, the TH makes a th sound. Not teology, unless you're like a cute store that sells tea. Clothing brand is theory, not teary. You're not a tot, you're a thought. Okay.
Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only, exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
Let's get to the questions.
Hi, gang. It's long and I'm sorry. My wonderful fiance is a beautiful, patient, kind man. We have been together for 4 years, getting married in July this year, having been friends for 3 years before we became a couple. I love him with all my heart and know that he would never do anything intentionally to hurt me. I've previously been poorly treated by a partner, repeatedly gaslit, cheated on, and lied to, and I've worked very hard to leave behind the person that those experiences made me become. My fiance and I don't fight. We communicate effectively on the rare occasion we are presented with challenges, and I am always proud of how we express ourselves, even when it's difficult, and find ways to move forward. We moved to a new area for work a few years ago. My fiance has gained a close group of work friends that he cares deeply for, and I am so glad he has a circle of friends that are just his. During a period of time when many social events were happening with this group, almost monthly boozy late nights out, I expressed that I felt a little strange that none of the mixed group's partners had ever been invited, to which he offered no explanation, just that nobody else ever suggested it. I became increasingly paranoid when further nights were planned and I was never asked to join, and became fixated on one member of the group. Let's call her Jess. I cannot pinpoint a comment or anything specific that made me particularly wary of this person's presence, but I believe myself to be weirdly intuitive. It became increasingly difficult to not feel upset when I knew she would be in the group on a night out with my fiance, especially after she eventually left their place of work, but still attended social events on account of being best friends with the boss. After a calm discussion, I was invited on a night out she was attending and found my ill feeling to be somewhat justified. This married woman got totally wasted and was outrageously flirting with a much younger single member of the team and groped another married ex-colleague. She repeatedly told me how wonderful my fiance is and how lucky I am to have him. Although she did not try anything with my fiance, am I right to be annoyed that she displays this behavior when drunk? This doesn't mean I don't trust my fiance, but the thought of her behaving in the way I witnessed with him when I'm not there brings up old wounds and an anxiety I can't shake. After further discussion, my fiance expressed he understood my feelings and would take a break from attending events, which I appreciated. After nearly 6 months without attending, when the next night out was planned, I casually asked if she would be there. My fiance replied no, and he would, quote, be annoyed if she was. When I arrived to pick up my intoxicated partner that night, I don't begrudge this. This blowout was the end of a wildly stressful inspection period. He works hard and deserves it. The first person to appear at my car window was Jess. I had not been informed she was there. She quickly explained she had only arrived half an hour ago and just came to say hi. I was upset.
Why did she explain that?
I was livid. Am I fair of feeling this way or worse? Am I taking out my own issues with her on my loving partner? I really truly don't believe he would cheat or entertain her nonsense, but she makes me uncomfortable. I do not want my previous experience to tarnish the beautiful life my fiance and I have built, this being the one issue we are struggling to overcome. Help me.
I want to know why she explained that quickly. I want to know why.
Well, yeah.
Because, wait, but I'll explain why that's
Yeah.
weird. Because if I'm Jess and no one's ever said you have a problem with me, why would I ever feel the need to explain myself?
If I
And
was,
moreover,
I would be gossiping. You think the group wasn't gossiping about the fact, fiance doesn't come anymore because he's not allowed to be around Jess.
it was 6 months of him not going, or
Yeah.
you didn't go for 6 months?
He hasn't
of him
gone for
not-
6 months, but they just had like a big work thing that they were celebrating. So they went out. So they've all
Yeah,
been
it's
going out
tough.
without him for 6 months. Like, yeah, I guess he can't join because
Well, I mean, that's also on him. Like, how did he explain that? Like, she doesn't want me going because that's bullshit. The thing is, you're saying you're intuitive, but I don't know. I mean, maybe you are, but you still allowed yourself to be in these terrible relationships where people did terrible things and you didn't have any intuition there. Or maybe you did, and that's how you discovered it. But you're saying you have this intuition about her apropos of nothing. And then it was confirmed, but something must have happened. I think it's like the first half of your suspicion was all your paranoia. And then you were looking for a way for it to be confirmed, and it quasi was. She's not flirting with your fiance. And that's also on those guys. Like, those guys are shitty if they let her flirt with them. And this is obviously the type of relationship she has. Maybe they work at a rock radio station and they're all super cool and loose. I think you just need to take a deep breath, because what you don't want is to be the person who talks about their trust issues so much that it A, manifests itself into something, or B, you become this paranoid weirdo. I can't imagine you're going to have to see her that much more.
no.
She doesn't even work there. I feel like it will crystallize. Also, 6 months of not seeing each other. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's pretty cool that he was just like, okay, I won't go for 6 months.
Yeah.
He can't help that she was there.
And he had you come pick him up. It's not like he was hiding her.
Yeah, I think you need to. We get a lot. Here's what I think, because I have to say something other than like talk to him. It seems like he's really great. I think you're giving him every benefit of the doubt, and he's being such a good guy. I think and what I was saying was, a lot of people write into this and they always say what you're saying, like, he would never do anything. He's a great guy. Da da da. I love him. I trust him. I trust him. I trust him. But there is no but if you trust someone. And so I think as an exercise, you need to trust him. It's annoying that she's there, so you have options. It's weird that you were never invited, but like, it's just weird that you were never invited, to be honest. But okay, it's a work thing and maybe it's a bar tab thing. Either plan a night with everyone and their spouses, she's not invited, or get over it. Like, there's other ways to do it. Either include yourself, but I don't think you have the energy for it, or just get over it, knowing that you do trust him. Because you're going to marry this person. And like, he might have to work late. They might go on a trip. Like, the idea that like there's another woman there and she gets drunk and silly, but it takes two to tango. And the more by the way, if someone's going to cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you. And you can't control that. What you can control is your own sanity.
Yeah, your fiance has done zero wrong. You told him you had a problem with it, and he just stopped going and hanging out with his friends. Like, he did everything he could. Your only problem was with how this girl behaves, not even with your husband, just how she behaves towards other men.
So how's this? She's trash. You and your husband think she's trash. You or your fiance. He even said, if she's there, I'm going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would say that, but it doesn't matter. He's done nothing wrong, and you would hate it if the roles were reversed. And you were like, I don't know why this guy. And like, by the way, even if she's flirty with your husband, that's okay. Because he could just be like, all right, well, he could just talk to her. She can throw all she wants at him. But like, it's actually really sweet if he's just like decent to her versus like, I think you're a slut, don't talk to me. You don't want to clip his wings. You don't want to be controlling. It sounds like this is all on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, he's given you no reason. She will go away. But what will not go away is your husband thinking you don't trust him. That's a really bad feeling.
Yeah.
You will switch jobs. You will get married. You'll do all this. It can't be. And I also don't buy when people are like, everything's perfect except this one thing. I think if you're going to be with someone, like there's actually a lot of things that are imperfect, but it doesn't really matter. So give him a break.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth saying to him exactly what I just said. Like, this is on me. I need to get over it. And maybe just don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
See what you can do. But know that that's her issue and he hasn't done it. It doesn't seem like he's done anything to deserve this much scrutiny.
Mm-mm.
Let him listen to a podcast and let Don tell his friends to listen to it also. More listeners, please.
Recruit 5 people to listen to the podcast and you'll unlock the next tier of advice. Our advice will be better.
God. That's so funny. In-app purchases. We don't have an app.
Listen, read the question more than once and listen harder. It costs an extra $10.
Yeah. There you go. Listen harder.
Hi, AI team. This is another perspective. This person that said separate POV ghosted friendship. I was listening to 522's episode and wanted to share May 22nd. Want to share POV from a ghosted. My college friend for whom, because we had the person asking, like, I keep reaching out to my friend and I'm not hearing back. I'm sending her all these great, funny Instagram reels. Yeah.
And we were like, stop sending reels. That's why she hates you. No, but at first I was like, try one more time. And then we decided, no, you're done. You've been trying this person. Yeah. And I said, would you be happy if after 6 months they were like, oh, hey, you'd be like, that's insane.
Right.
Where were you this whole time?
Yeah. So this person says, my college friend for whom I was her maid of honor was the recent recipient of my ghosting. There was no incident, but rather a straw that broke the camel's back moment. She has always been focused on herself and rarely asks anything about me. Even when my father was dying and I was his caregiver, she would text me all about how she needed to vent about her shitty husband and 2 kids. She forgot my birthday last summer and the belated text was all about her. That was my moment to be done. She has texted me since, but always about how she misses me or she needs me, but never asking about me, nor if anything is wrong. 15 years of friendship doesn't guarantee forever, and sometimes things just run their course. I would have loved a did I do something message, but it wouldn't change that I am not important to her as a person. I'm just a therapist/constant. It's from Whitney. P.S. Saw you in Boston, Chicago. Can't wait for you to come to Minneapolis this fall. Bring ya ass.
Yeah, bring my ass. It'll be clean. So there you go. Just like we said, you did the most. You said, is there something? She didn't write back. She's just done. Yeah, we won't answer it.
I have a follow-up question about that, though, because I was thinking about this. When I text with people, I don't tend to ask a lot of questions because I'm like, I don't know if they want to share that. I don't want to pry. So I'll just say something stupid. I'm like hoping that they offer something up. I feel like I'm not good at asking questions about people.
I think I have hurt you from being friends with me because I'm like, don't ask me how my baby is, how I'm doing, how LA
this
is.
Podcast.
Don't even talk to me. I think it's more about at least you asked. At least that, I don't think there's anything wrong with ever saying that. But this is also, in no part of her being like, I miss you. Was she like, how are you? That is a problem.
Right.
I miss you is selfish. I miss you, what you do for me. So anyways, this person didn't have a question. She was just supporting us. And I'll tell you what, I have ghosted and been ghosted. And she's right. It's always like a small thing. And you're like, you know what? I think I'm good. Or this ran its course. You were my water ski instructor for 1 year. We don't have to be best friends.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
This Thanksgiving, Butterball wants you to really connect. Let's get back to sharing traditions together around the table. Let's talk like we used to. We'll help with the turkey so you can enjoy every moment. Visit Butterball.com for turkey tips.
Hi, gang. I could ramble on for hours how much you ladies mean to me, but I will skip it because this one's a doozy. I, 23-year-old woman, because female sounds too alpha bro, I'm having issues with my stepmom. Context. My stepmom had both of her kids out of wedlock, which, love that journey for her. Her oldest son, we'll call Brandon, 21, male, had a baby a little over a year ago. By the time the mother found out she was pregnant, they were already broken up. My stepmother wanted absolutely nothing to do with the baby until they had a paternity test done to confirm it was his. Now she's a wonderful, over-the-top grandma. Well, now Brandon has gotten a different girl pregnant. They're still together for now. And my
Brandon, keep it in your pants.
For real, Brandon. You're 21. Come on, come on, man. My stepmom is acting the same way, claiming they can't know that the baby is Brandon's. I try to be as supportive as I can for both him and his girlfriend because I know he is heartbroken by his mother not supporting him. My issue. Every time I've told her my husband and I have good news, her first response is automatically, "You're not pregnant, are you?" She's done
That's
it
a weird way
probably
to
5
say it.
times now. Yeah. My husband and I aren't even sure we want kids, but it still hurts every time because my mother had issues getting pregnant and carrying babies to term. How do I politely tell her that, 1, if I do get pregnant, it will be a conversation with her and my dad and absolutely never over text? 2, my husband and I are not planning on announcing when we start trying if we do decide we want kids, and her comments would make me feel terrible if we were TTC, trying to conceive? Yes.
Maybe.
I don't
That feels right.
appreciate being treated like my child would be unwanted, an accident, or something that shouldn't be celebrated, especially because I am pro-choice. And if I wasn't sure I want to have a baby, I damn well wouldn't be telling people about it. I cried when I got to meet you the last time you were on tour and can't wait to see you this time around. And then this person doesn't want their real name used. They have given an alias of Kara.
No, I had one. I had a better one.
An alias?
Beulah.
Why?
Beulah Bub. I don't know. I was trying to think of an ugly name. Look, here's what's happening. Your stepmom has a son who is trash. And she is not wrong. She knows he's trash. And she knows that the women he goes out with are trash. So she lives in a world where a woman would lie for some reason. That's why she wanted that paternity test the first time around. I don't know that I've ever dated someone or been with anyone who, if we got pregnant, their parents would be like, we need a paternity test. So that's that. That's the world that he lives in, and she has to live in it because she is in his orbit, and that is her son. So it would stand to reason for this next girl, just because they're dating, who cares, that she would also be like, let's just see. Because by the way, my son is garbage and he bucks garbage. Okay? Okay. Or you guys have so much money, but the son is garbage. Doesn't really matter what social class you're in. Okay? Her reaction to you is so insensitive, but it actually has nothing to do with you. She's already like, oh my God, we already have one kid that we have and we're focused on, and my son's a mess. And now we're going to have a second one. It is a really rude reaction. And it is not considering you, but it is not personal. Unless you're a lunatic that can't take care of herself, but I don't think you are. Of course, you would not tell her over text, although it seems like you're like, I don't really care what you think. I think you say this to her. Part of me says you say it, but part of me is also like, you're not trying to have kids. You don't want kids yet. So it's not a conversation you need to have. And I wonder, she doesn't seem like a bitch. She doesn't seem like a bad person. I bet if she knew you were trying to have a baby, she would not have that response.
Right. Does she think it's a funny joke?
Yeah. It's bothering you because it's just rude, but you're doing what a lot of women do where you're like, because like we get people who write in and they're like, and I don't even want that. But one day in the future, what if we do get married and we do have this? Like, but you're not. You claim you're not trying to have a kid. And so it shouldn't you shouldn't apply that to your feelings. Like you can feel however you want to feel. I don't think you need to put the weight of all pro-choice feminism on this woman for a reaction. Her son is like just willy-nilly getting women pregnant. And it sounds like maybe some of it's going to fall on her, like as the mother. So she's kind of in her own personal hell. And it's hurting your feelings because she's treating you like her loser son. And you're like, if I had a baby, it would be with my partner and we would want it and take care of it and it would not be on you. So you're within your rights to say something to her, but I think you will be like hitting a fly with a hammer if you say something to her.
I have a judgmental question because our question asker, I love you, our question asker. You said this has happened like 5 times when you say, how often are you texting? Like me and my husband have really good news, really exciting news. And
good news do you have?
Just say what the news is. Just say, hey, got a promotion. Hey, like how often are you setting yourself up for her to be like, I hope you're not pregnant?
That's a good call. You know what? I'm embarrassed. You're right. I should have called that.
I just think it's
good
funny.
News. We ordered the chili fries and we had a coupon.
Right. Well, it seems like she's getting teed up to say this a lot, and it's her little go-to joke. Don't tee her up anymore.
I will. On that note, though, I will tell you something I do find slightly frustrating is anytime I text a friend like, "Oh my God, guess what?" and it's always like, "You're pregnant. You're having another baby," and they're just like, "Women can have good things that aren't babies." And especially if you are trying, you're like, guess what? Which is a normal way to lead when you have exciting news and you want to like have some energy around it.
Right.
Especially if you're trying to have a baby, you're like, is it a baby? And you're like, no.
You don't want a real guess. No one on the earth who has ever said, guess what, wants someone to analyze the statistics like Monk and figure out what the most likely thing is. You're supposed to be like, they got new. Not a real guess, because a real guess I feel like is going to be insulting 90% of the time because it's not the thing. What if they're like, oh, you got a promotion? And you're like, no, but I got a new name placard. Like it's going to be too big.
Right. Also, I always do a guess what and I give options. I'm like, guess who? Da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
Also, just in case somebody ever says guess what to you, what the person, the guessee, no, the guesser and the guessee, the person saying it, what we never want is you to give a snide answer. I'm like, guess what? The world's coming to an end and you're going to shit yourself. You're like, oh, no. Because then when you guess over, it's even worse, like Emily said. So stop saying guess what. And it seems like that will eradicate your problem. I'm so tempted to have Scott go back and take it out, make it look like it was my idea to say, stop saying.
No, I think we want to give good advice, but I do also have to.
Doesn't matter.
Bring the question asker to task about how they're phrasing their text messages.
You know what you do next time? Be like, guess what? And she'll go, a baby. And you go, yep. And it's all yours. Grandma. Chunk.
Hi, Eliza. Emily, Hot Scotty, and all the snow peaches and baby tree frogs. Longtime fan, first-time writer. I think you're uniquely equipped to tackle this one. Can't wait to see you at the Beacon this fall. Pumpkin spice season. I'm 30.
Is it about getting TMJ from having too many cute things in your house and always rubbing your dog and going like, oh, tiny, and then your teeth kind of hurt?
Do you ever accidentally reach a little hand down to give either of your children a little squeeze like what you do to Tianfu? Is that just so ingrained in you? You just go
no,
for
as a mother.
Little...
I don't know. But I definitely have started calling Sierra Beastie, which is what I call Tianfu. She'll cry, go, oh, Beastie.
I'm going to share their nicknames. I'm 39, female, and an only child who grew up super close to my parents. My dad died in 2016 after an illness that required my mom be his caretaker and put her life on hold. My mom's main source of entertainment is going to her club where she has a ton of friends. Think country club in the city. Almost as soon as my dad died, she struck up a friendship with a man at the club. They spent the last 7 to 8 years acting like a couple. He spent time with my husband and me, spent Passovers and weekends at the beach with us, took my mom to dinners, called her all the time, and my mom helped him plan his big 90th birthday party. He wasn't perfect or as great as my dad, but he was what she needed in a companion. Last week, he called her and said, I'm canceling our dinner on Friday, and I no longer want our friendship. They never called it dating. She is understandably devastated. Another woman from their club just told my mom she's going out with Stanley and his new girlfriend, who my mom also knows from the club. My mom, he's 90. My mom spent almost 8 years with this guy, and within 7 days of breaking up with my mom, he has a new girlfriend. She's livid and hasn't been broken up with since the 60s. She wants to know how to handle seeing them together at the club while keeping her head high, but also more importantly, she wants to hurt him. And I think you might have an idea for a tiny anonymous revenge that would make her feel better. Any ideas are welcome. Allison, you can use my name. No one in this story knows how to work a podcast. And please know the email subject for this was 90-year-old F-boy.
This is incredible. I mean, it's not easy to hurt a 90-year-old. You could just like slightly blow in his direction and he might knock over. You're asking us to find a way to get physical revenge on a 90-year-old man?
Not physical, maybe just mental. Maybe switch some of his pills around.
That's not physical.
The best revenge is what is it? Living well. Like she just needs to keep on keeping
I'm sorry.
on.
At 90, the best revenge is living.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And she hasn't been broken up with since the Nixon administration.
And this man to call, where did this woman swoop in from?
That's what I wanted. Where's this gold digger from? That's what I want to know.
How old is she? Is she only 80? Like, what's happening here?
I need to know more about this other woman. 8 years of a relationship and like spending time with your family. That's so shitty, guy. It just never ends. Cold-hearted. And like, he's probably like, I don't have much time left. I don't have time for an explanation.
At 90, what, he dialed her up on his rotary phone? Like,
hello, I'm canceling our date Friday, and I never want to see you again. Bye.
That's how technology works. Whatever technology you were born with is what you have to use your whole life. Like, I only talk on a phone with a cord and only do work on a Trio.
I just want him to be using a rotary phone. If he doesn't know how to use a podcast, he must be.
It's one of those phones like the mouthpiece and the headpiece.
Yeah. The separate bits.
I'm not gonna, for legal purposes, I can't tell you how to, I mean, there's so many things you could do. You could take his phone, you could rearrange
mail
the
him
buttons.
glitter, mail him a bag of dicks, mail him a bag of, there's a lot of little confetti and things you can mail someone, but he'll know it was her. And does she want that?
No, he won't. He would, no, because someone who's 90 has no idea, like all the bullshit internet stuff that like we all know about, you could call him and you could commit fraud and you could pretend to be a bank and be like, we just need your credit card number to make sure that no one takes your money. You can't, you know what you could do? You could get his email, which I'm sure you have, and his phone number. And anytime on any website, they're like, give us your email or phone number. You just send it out to the internet, like scattering food for birds.
Yeah.
That's what you could do. But I think it's more about what you could do for your mom. You could always, I mean, at that age, who fucking cares how you look? Is there a way you could ask him and just be, you could tell him off. That might make you feel better. There's no stakes here.
Right. He could drop dead any day.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks
He's
for that.
not listening.
I think you just feel like that was really hurtful, you old coot. Why'd you do that? And do it in front of his new girlfriend. Be like, who are you, you fucking slut? And just like use, or get some Gen Z kid to only use like Gen Z terms and just be like, I'm speaking English, no cap, dead ass, on God. And he'll be like, I don't understand. Mortimer.
It sounds like this guy wasn't like that. You're like, he was just there and he's what my mom needed. But it sounds like he wasn't that great. So she could start looking around at her other options at the club. I bet there's a lot of old men there. Maybe some of them are more fun on Passover than this guy.
Tough, yeah. Who's ever like giving shit to like a 90-year-old that broke up with their mom?
It's so rude.
Can we get more context?
Yeah.
Are you going to say something to him?
Show me a picture of him. Mail us a picture. Email us a picture.
Yeah.
Don't mail it to us. Hey there, Iliza and the crew.
Okay.
Longtime listener, first time writing in. Before I get to my question, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for your tremendous hard work and dedication to your comedy over the years. I've been following your work since Last Comic Standing. Your stand-up, comedy specials, and podcasts have been one of the things that have helped keep me going throughout the years when life has become almost too tough to handle some days. So I truly want to thank you for being one of the bright spots in my life on days when I've needed it the most. I'm so excited to write in to tell you that this August, I will be seeing you live for the very first time. I decided to treat myself and purchase the very important Party Goblin package where I will have the opportunity to meet you after the show, which leads me to my two-part question. And I think, Iliza, this is a good time to answer this question because you have a tour coming up and maybe people have questions about what happens there.
Okay.
So I have a copy of Girl Logic and have read it numerous times. Upon meeting you after the show, is it possible to get you to sign my copy? If not,
Absolutely
that's okay,
not.
and I understand.
It's a separate ticket. No, of course you can bring it.
Bring it.
And I will have Sharpies.
Yeah.
Do not give me your Sharpie. I don't want to touch it. I will. Everyone's got their own pen. It's in their pocket. And then they fart. Of course, I will sign your book. I will sign anything you bring for the most part. For the most part.
I mean, don't bring like 15 because you're selling them on eBay, but
good luck. It's going to cost you more to send them.
Ship it. For part,
yeah.
Okay, so for part 2 of my question, do you allow fans to give you gifts during your meet and greets? I honestly can't thank you enough for making me laugh over the years, which has helped me cope with my anxiety, PTSD, and bipolar disorder, and I would like to gift you something in return. Hopefully you get to this prior to August. Yes, we're on it. Thanks for all the laughs, and thank you for taking time to read this. I can't wait to meet you in Atlantic City. Okay, do you want to explain how gifts work?
Well, you are new around here because you should know. I always feel we're being like, it's a thing. My fans give me gifts, but it has become a thing that people know and that people do. Was it a lot more during COVID? Yes. Do I expect gifts? No. But you are 100% allowed to bring something. It is a thing that is often done. And I don't say that in a like bringing wine for your host is often done. I'm just saying it's something people do. So it's not weird for us. Every once in a while you get like a weird security officer that like goes rogue and takes it into their own hands and makes their own rules. And they're like, you can't bring anything, but you absolutely can. Mm-hmm. And you can, if you choose to do that, you can bring it to the meet and greet and hand it to me and I'll hand it to someone and then they'll bring it backstage and I'll open it later. If you, for some reason, don't want to do the meet and greet, some people like opt out, they get nervous, they get tired, whatever. You can give it to someone from my team and they will give it to me.
Where are they usually at at the merch table? Is there a VIP ticket table?
Yeah, there's a VIP meet and greet table you check in at to get your lanyard. And if for some reason you didn't want to give me the gift yourself, you could give it to them or you could just give it to me yourself after the show.
Yeah.
That's when it happens. After the show is the meet and greet. That's it. I wish there were more to talk about.
Well, anything else? I mean, the meet and greet with you, how does it usually go? You take a picture with them and it's like,
it's very important. Yeah, it was very important to me that the meet and greet moves quickly, but that everybody feels like they got their time. So while I cannot sit there and talk to you for 5 minutes, the line moves fast. You give your phone to someone, so it's on your phone. I don't want your data. I don't want your email address, although I probably should. They really take your picture. I should. They take your picture, they give it back to you, but we have a ring light set up. I don't hug people like I used to before COVID. And I try to keep a distance just because it's a lot of people breathing on me, but I like to have a little moment with everyone. And if you have something to say to me, we can absolutely talk. But if you don't, we can just take the picture. There's no expectation. I hate when people are like, what do you want to do? I'm like, it's your picture. Like you paid for this experience. Yeah. Do not ask me to do Charlie's Angels. I will not do it. It is hacky. And I will tell you that, and I will not do it.
Okay, and people, I can
just the look on people's faces, like their smiles fade. Like, can we do Charlie's Angels? I'm like, it's so hacky, and they're like, oh, that was my big plan, just to stand like.
And now what?
Sorry. Now you just pose like a normal person at the DMV, getting a driver's license photo.
I just want to say, as someone who goes to a lot of conventions, if you have been to conventions, any listeners, it is more time than when you get a pro photo taken there. When you really get rushed through, it's more equivalent to like the autograph booths. So just if you're thinking about whether it's worth it, there is time. Like it's not like snap, get out of here, bye sucker. It is a decent experience. Dear Iliza, love the show. Insert standard pleasantries here. I'm writing to you on Mother's Day for advice on how to handle a matter that happened again today. I, 37 female, am the youngest sibling. Because I don't have children, we typically do non-present holidays, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, etc., at my house. I love to cook, so everyone just has to show up. My siblings all appreciate this. My mom and dad downsized.
Wait, Mother's Day is a non-present holiday?
I think one person's getting present. Maybe it's not everybody's exchanging with everybody. It's just like a focused. Like Easter, people get
There's
little
only one
candies.
holiday. Christmas is the only exchange holiday. Everything else is a single recipient.
All right.
Okay, whatever. You know what? Whatever.
My mom and dad downsized to a condo years ago, so they don't have a space that's big enough for all of us to gather. The issue, I like using, quote, real dishware and glasses. My stuff is nice, but not ridiculous, and easy to replace if something gets damaged, which it never has. My youngest niece is 10, so even she is able to confidently drink from a glass without dropping it. The problem, my mother always complains about this. She only drinks water, and she invariably asks me why I don't have plastic solo-type cups that we can use. I've told her many times that I don't have a problem washing the glasses we use, and I don't like the waste of disposable cups. She scoffs and usually makes a comment about how they're so much easier to clean up, which would matter if she ever once offered to help clean up, but she does not. I've told her that running the dishwasher is as easy as emptying cups and throwing them away. She typically makes 3 to 4 snide comments each occasion about this. So today, one of my sisters texted on her way to my house asking if we needed anything. My other sister read the text aloud to me, and my mom shouted, "Yes, tell her to buy some disposable cups since your sister won't." My sister looked at me, and I said, "No, we have everything we need." My mom sulked for the rest of the day. For context, my sisters have never once asked me about getting disposable stuff, even when their kids were little. I do have a small set of kids' plates and sippy cups, but as I said, my nieces and nephews are too old for that now. Advice on how to finally put this matter to bed? It's annoying to have this discussion every time we get together. Should I just suck it up and buy a set of solo cups for my mother? Thanks. Signed, someone who thinks we can all handle real glasses.
Your mother will never, ever stop doing that. So you need to either be okay with explaining it or taking it to the mat every time, or just be okay with the fact that you know she's going to do that. Somehow knowing she's going to say something makes it easier. Because then if she doesn't, it feels like a win. And if she does, you're like, yep, knew you'd say that. I'm just trying not to ruin the planet that your generation already ruined the shitter. But she's not going to stop doing that. Ever. That's all there is to it. Because, by the way, I hate to say this to you because I do my best to do eco-friendly stuff. Water is a very precious resource. So I don't know. Yes, that plastic cup will live forever. Yes, that plastic cup already exists, but you are using tons of water, one could argue, when you wash these dishes. But it's your home and they're your choices. And I feel the same way. I don't do plastic bottles of water or plastic cups because I don't feel good throwing that away. And you can say that to her. Be like, I'm the one who hosts this. And if you want to do it at your house, then we can do plastic cups. End of story. Why do you have to mention it every time? It's my house.
I at first thought, so the fact that you say nothing has ever been broken changes my mindset. But my first mindset was, is she worried about dropping a cup? Are her hands starting to shake? Is something going on where she doesn't want to be responsible for glass and she's trying to make everyone get on the disposable bandwagon? But she's never dropped one so far. What?
I wonder. Sorry.
No, I do you think it will be worth it to get a plastic cup for her or
just one? You know what would be a funny idea for it? Just get one solo cup and be like, this is yours.
Get in that and write on it, Mom's cup.
Mom's special cup. I do think that's a good call, Emily. It might be worth. I don't know if there's something wrong with the mom because I think she would have said and my mom has MS and it's never been whatever. My mom has MS, but she finds time to be a bitch. Right. It might be worth. It could be pulling her to the side and being like, you kind of ruin this every time. So what's the note behind the note here?
Well, that's the other piece is she's saying Mom thinks it'd be easier to clean up if it's plastic, but Mom never offers help clean up. It's like, Mom doesn't want to clean glasses. Maybe if you had plastic, Mom would throw it all out and that's how she could help. But this is so unnecessary for her to do.
Oh, Mom, it's a party. Be like, if you want to clean up, great. Also, there's no reason you can't reuse a red Solo cup.
Yeah.
Those things are thick plastic. Something else going on here. I do think generationally, there is, even though they're like the hippie generation, there is sort of a blind spot when it comes to that kind of sustainability. It's like, what? You just throw it all away after. it'd be one thing if you were hosting for like 15 people, it was a party. It's like, okay, throw it away. I get that. But you're saying it's not a big deal. And especially since you're the one who's doing all of it, I don't know why she cares.
I wonder if she has guilt because they're not hosting anymore. And so in her twisted way, she wants it to be easier for you.
Or it's how she would have done it.
Yeah.
And now it's not there. So she's like, but here's what because that's a hard thing to let go of. I would actually, before you get angry, like I said earlier, I would sit and have a talk with her. I'd be like, I'm just wondering where you're coming from. Because I think no matter what answer she gives, it will be easy for you to handle it in the future. Once you realize it's not charged, I think what we lack in this society is actually being like, where are you coming from? Once you know that like someone actually means you no harm and it's just the way that they're expressing themselves, it doesn't make it better that they're protesting on campuses, hoping that your entire religion dies, but it does. It's always nice to know that the other person, that it isn't a charged thing. Did I make this about something else? Okay.
Hi, Iliza and Emily, human babies and fur babies. I am 30, female, stay-at-home mom from Texas. My husband and I got to see you for the second time when you came to Grand Prairie last September. This event will have already happened by the time you see this, but I'm curious on your thoughts.
She remembers how bad the parking situation is. It's so bad at that venue that we're never playing it again.
Wow.
I'm coming back to Texas and North Texas in particular, but I'm just never playing that Texas Trust Theater. I don't know why. One road in, one road out. Like,
Ooh.
Are you trying to create a fire hazard? Anyway.
Our friends have a son the same age as ours, 4. His birthday party is coming up, and on the invitation, it says they will have a pony for the kids to ride. I was asking the mom what the boy would want for his birthday, and she responded that he has plenty of toys and clothes, but that we could chip in toward the cost of the pony if we felt we had to do something. I was a little taken aback, but asked what the going rate was for pony rides these days, and she said $600. Now, I'm not really surprised at the cost to rent a pony for a backyard birthday party, but a little surprised she suggested we could chip in. I would probably spend around $20 for a present for the boy, and that amount doesn't seem like it would make any kind of dent in that cost. There will be other kids there too, not just our family. I understand not wanting to accumulate any more toys or clothes, but why do I feel irked about this? Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Thanks, B.
I'll tell you why you feel irked. You feel irked because it feels like it should be more money than you were planning on spending. And there's something less sentimental about giving cash versus a gift. But you asked, and she did the thing that a lot of women don't do. She gave you the honest answer versus the answer she's supposed to give. So good for her for being like, well, if you wanted to help, we're providing this thing that most kids don't get to do, and it's expensive. Also, if she gives that answer to everyone, then the pony is covered. I get that they're throwing a party, but they don't sound super wealthy. And so they're trying to have a special thing, and it would help.
Yeah.
So fork over $20, $35.
And write a card for the boy.
Card. That's right. Put in a card and just be like, I almost said hiya, yippee-ki-yay, or yeehaw. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's what she asked for. There is no, she's saying like, if you really want to know, it's this. She didn't say the dollar amount, and you are under no obligation to like fund this pony.
Right. I guess if she had said, oh yeah, if you want to give me $30 towards the pony ride, I think then I would personally be thinking, well, how many people are giving her $30? What if it's more than the pony ride? What if she's pocketing the excess? You know what I mean?
You think it's a grift. Yeah.
Her just saying the total, it's like, you could give me 5, you could give me 20, you could, but I see why it is weird, but she did nothing wrong.
It's also weird because it's a party that you're being invited to, and you're like, if I wanted to fund this, I would just do it. But think of it like if somebody invited you over for a barbecue or a cookout or anything, you would bring something, and hopefully you wouldn't bring something super cheap. So it's sort of the cost of attending something.
Yeah.
So think of it as a dollar amount, and she's just choosing how it gets spent, because it's still a gift for her son getting to ride that pony while everybody watches. It's just unorthodox.
If I was a kid, I'd be mad. Like, where's my, give me the $20.
It's 4.
Oh, you're right. 4-year-old doesn't care. You're right.
I got a pony for my 18-year-old's birthday. Her name is Pony.
Hey, Iliza and AIA crew. I need your advice as mom of now 2 beautiful babies. I, 32, have a 6-month-old baby and have been married for 5 years. Currently, I feel like I'm in the roommate phase with my husband. No more romance. We've had 0 intimate moments since the baby was born, and even the goodnight kiss is gone. My husband has tried a few times to be intimate with me, but I'm never in the mood, so eventually he stopped trying. I still love him to bits. He's an amazing husband and father. Any tips on how to get out of this phase, how to get back the romance after having a baby? Should I make an effort and do it even if I'm not in the mood? For context, we've suffered with infertility for 4 years and had 2 failed IVF attempts, literally the worst 4 years of my life. Also, we are living in Australia, but are both from Brazil, so we don't have a lot of family support. We also have quite a tight budget since I got laid off from the misogynistic company that I worked for when I was 6 months pregnant because I was pregnant. Apparently not illegal in Australia. P.S. I saw you in Melbourne, and it was a dream come true that I never thought could happen being from Brazil. Also, I got pregnant a couple months after I saw you, so I considered you my lucky charm. Please come back next year for the second baby. You and Emily make my morning walks with the baby less lonely. Thank you, Lyra.
Lyra, happy to help. The baby's 6 months old?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and she got fired.
There is nothing about, unless you are like a quiverful, like 19 and counting kind of person, there's nothing sexual about having kids. There's nothing sexy about it. Your hormones are like totally out of whack / depleted. And you're caring for a child, which is the least sexiest thing ever. Okay. And you're doing it with your husband. You're not even like hot single mom. Like you're doing it together. So you're both tired. You're both on it. It's just a lot. Yes, I do actually suggest that you have sex even if you're not into it. And all of you forthright feminists sharpening your claws about to cancel me for that, retract them. It is just a fact that chemically, when you have sex with someone, you have a connection with them. And I will tell you, if you have not had sex in a while, I think it helps the bond between you and your husband. It does not have to be the longest marathon sex ever, but even just for his mental health, you just do it. And there are things you don't have to look, we're women, so we're used to like not every sexual encounter being like mind blowing. You need to, even if you don't have sex, set aside a date night. It was only after we had our kids that Noah and I realized, you know, you always look at the couples that are like, it's our date night. And you're like, what do you mean you have to carve it out? You have to carve it out. Just like mental health, just like working out, just like me time. When you have children, it is a concerted effort you have to make to maintain other parts of your life. And the good news is you're both Brazilian, so you're probably both pretty good looking, so it shouldn't be a problem. Whether it's just getting a sitter and they're in the other room with the baby, or maybe you could do a daytime date, have a few drinks. You have to get yourself relaxed, and it's hard because you're thinking about the baby and all the things you have to do. And it's really difficult, but at the very least, just have the sex. It does not have to be perfect because it will help him too. And these are the things that we do. But I get it. I was talking to a mom who adopted her baby, and she was like, I'm fine with never having sex again. Like it just takes everything out of you. So I get it.
Yeah.
And this is just, nobody wants to talk about it. And it's a thing that women want to judge. What do you mean just have sex if you don't want to have it? Oh, what do you mean? I love having sex. I'm super horny. Okay. But you are feeling very normal and tired and overworked and unsexy because you have a kid throwing up on you all day. And I'm sure you and your husband have little spats about the kid. And when they cry, it is like biologically designed to upset you. So carve it out just like you would anything else that you need to feel good in this world. And who knows, when you start having sex, start getting in there. I mean, look, Lord knows your body is probably not the best it's ever looked. And I feel you. I get that. You probably feel ugly. Have a drink. Maybe just lay there. Maybe see if he'll go down on you for like an hour. Then see if that does it. Like, you want to have sex? Great. I'll go first. He's like, that's not what I meant. You're like, well, this is what's happening. Bon dia. Obrigado.
Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
Top of the cob is I'm trying mushroom coffee, which I think I made fun of on this podcast.
We just made fun of this in the last 2 months max. Maybe in the last month.
I was trying to look at it because my dad likes it and I thought about doing it. And everyone that I bought was like mushrooms in coffee. And I was like, no, because I'm trying to do less caffeine. Even though I only drink 1 cup of coffee a day, it still makes me anxious. And so I'm looking. And I was online, and Myrna, who was our baby nurse, was sitting with me. And I just wasn't finding what I wanted. And then I kind of got overwhelmed, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll just drink a lot of coffee and get an ulcer. And she ordered us mushroom coffee. She was like, I wanted to try it too. So she got us 2 bags of this brand called Rise, RYZE.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes with this like
rhizome.
Oh, interesting. Good call. I thought it meant like rise in the morning.
Maybe not.
What's rhizome?
Isn't that like a mushroom? Now I need to Google it. Hold on. Let's see if I'm insane.
Okay, whatever. She ordered one. It was like buy one, get one free. And it came with this coconut creamer. And I'm like, okay, I'll try that too. What I find funny is that it comes with like a very Hobbit-like wooden spoon. But it requires, to make it, you do 8 to 10 ounces of hot water and a tablespoon of the mushroom powder. But the wooden spoon is not a tablespoon. So it's this like weird little spoon that just comes with it for stirring. And it kind of made me think of like how on Shark Tank, any product, they're like, and it's a mobile app to help you keep tracking your calories. And then Mark Cuban's always like, I mean, this is a tech play, right? You guys are a tech company. And then the company has to go, yes, we are a tech company. So like the product is not what they're really selling. It's the tech behind it. And so I think there's something funny about Rise being like, we are a wooden spoon company. We just happen to sell the mushroom, but we do really want to get these wooden spoons in the hand of every American. So my top of the cup is I actually think it's working. I'm not vouching for it necessarily, but I was able to pretty much write from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. the other day, mostly uninterrupted.
It's pretty good. Does it taste good?
Nope. Well, it's earthy and I don't mind it. And what I'm finding, what I want in the morning is just the ritual of making a hot beverage and adding something to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it.
All right. I'm happy
That's my
for
top
you.
of the cup. Shout out to the wooden spoon that's changing my life. 1 not so teaspoon at a time. Rise mushroom coffee.
Top of the cob. I have been learning Spanish for a couple months now, and after hearing your story about Jamie surprising everyone after studying a course, I also decided to keep my achievements on the down low, purely studying from home or in classes. The other day, a close friend heard me speaking Spanish to an old colleague, of which I turned around and said, surprise! Not only that, I managed to use my newfound skill to charm a new Brazilian lover who is now teaching me Portuguese. And I'm gearing up to perform my usual comedy set in Espanol for the first time. Saw you for the first time in London last December. I can't wait to see you again. Much love from Wales. Diolch, which is thank you in Welsh. I definitely didn't say it right. From Jack.
Sorpresa! That's so funny to be speaking like the most basic Spanish and turn around and be like, surprise! It's me.
It's me.
It's me. First of all, if you speak Welsh, you never have to learn another language because everyone is so impressed that you speak Welsh. Like, you're good, but that's great and very impressive. And I'll tell Jamie that she was part of the top of the cup. She'll make her feel good.
She's listening. She's a supporter of this show. She'll hear it.
Let me fucking listen.
My top of the cup is how far technology has come. I had to get a cavity filled this week, which I haven't done in 20 years. And I went in for my little checkup and they said, ooh, you got one teeny cavity. Do you want to come back later today? And I was like, yes, because otherwise I'm going to stew on it forever. And I'm like, so I come back. I'm like, please don't make me have the needle. I can't do the needle. And the guy is like, all right, it's small enough. I think we can just drill it. And I was like, let's go. So he just drilled into my tooth and was like, raise your hand if it starts to hurt. And I raised my hand and he's like, did it hurt? And I was like, no, but I could tell it was about to hurt. And he was like, 10 more seconds. Got it done in 10 minutes. Drilled, filled, UV resin, shined a light on it. I'm like, how many hours till I can eat? They're like, you can eat now. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't have to get a needle. I could eat whenever I wanted.
You're like, how many hours till I can go back to the thing that gave me the cavity?
Right, exactly. Exactly. Can I have a Coke or will it go in the tooth hole?
Yeah.
No, but I was just so like, wow. I just kept being like, thank you so much. That was actually not horrible. And they're like, yeah. Okay.
10 minutes, drilled, filled, and thrilled. Drive-through dentistry at its finest. My bottom of the cob. Okay. We live on a street that a lot of people drive to because it's a nice street so they can walk their dogs because of the layout of the street. It's a long story, but a lot of people come here specifically to my neighborhood to walk their dogs. And a few weeks ago, my neighborhood email group, somebody sent out an email saying, hey, we've noticed a lot of people leaving their dog poop on the street. It wasn't an email to the residents as much as just like an awareness thing. Also saying like, if you are a piece of shit who lives in our neighborhood, pick up your piece of shit. So it must have been rattling around the back of my head. Anyways, we leave our house the other day and there's dog poop like in my driveway. And it is a place like where my daughter plays. And I had my mushroom coffee and I am just so tired of everyone having to tiptoe around everything. And I went back to that email chain and I just said, hey, I'm sorry. Before I did that, I was like, I wonder if we could figure out who it is. Cause like, you kind of know who walks their dog. So Noah
and what
I
size
went on the
poo it is.
Yeah. Tiny dog, went on the Ring cam and found the person. Can't see their face, but you can see the gender. You could see the color of the dog. Like, I'm not
So
going
if
to
you saw the dog in the neighborhood, you'd know.
Yes. So I take a screen grab. I have Noah give me a screen grab and I put it in my email. And I was like, hey, I don't know what I'm trying to accomplish by publicly shaming this person. But in case anyone knows, like, I guess in my highest of hopes, someone would be like, oh my God, that's my friend Linda. I'll tell her.
Yeah.
It's more of just being like, hey, don't disrespect where people live.
Yeah.
Because that is so unhinged to leave your dog. And in the video, the person's looking at their phone and the dog's behind them. To be fair to this person, the dog pooped as it was walking. Like it was the fastest poop. Like it just fell out of the dog.
Yeah.
There was some tension on the leash. That being said, there have been times that I've been like ensconced in my phone. You're like, come on, and you think the dog's just stopping. Super plausible
Sniffing,
deniability.
yeah.
But I'm like, look, this person obviously felt the tension. I think whatever it was. And I posted to the group. 20 minutes later, I get a text from a friend and she goes, oh my God, I'm with that woman now. I'm like, but why are you on our neighborhood email thread? You don't live in our neighborhood. She was hanging out with one of my neighbors and the whole group went somewhere because Mulholland had been closed. So they all went to go like drink wine on Mulholland because it was opening the next day, like a friend group thing. And I guess my neighbor read the email to the group or was like, oh my God, like Judy, is this you? And she goes, I'm with her now. She's mortified. And I, as a woman, did that thing where I'm like, oh no, now I feel bad.
Yeah.
Like I stood up for what was right and I defended my home. Now I feel bad. And she was like, she feels so bad. And I go, if she feels really bad, just know the poop's still out front. She can still come get it. Anyway, I was like, well, that's weird. Like I wasn't expecting to meet this person or talk to this person. And then the next day, she left cookies and a note. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I did not realize it. It is not cool. Like I feel like we build up in our heads. Everything just feels so charged lately. And especially since COVID, like I just feel like people are weird and weirdly in nice neighborhoods. I feel like people get extra bitchy and weird about their stuff. And this woman like responded the way I would have if I had like done something empirically wrong and she took the charge out of it. But the fact that like immediately someone was like, I know who did it. You're just like, oh, sometimes you just want to like huff and puff, but she felt really bad. And I didn't want to make her feel bad. I just want it to not happen. So it was a class act move to leave that gift, even though she 100% should not have and did not need to. It was inspiring. Makes me want to go back and right all my wrongs.
Well, and now people will be too scared to leave their poops.
Sorry, my bottom of the cob was that I was not wrong at all, but because we're so used to people being shamed for everything, I was like, oh no, now I feel bad. I hate that I felt bad.
All right.
Whatever. All right, you do yours.
Mine is when you have a day off or a weekend is your only free time and then you get a headache. And you're like, no, why couldn't I have a headache on a day that I'm already annoyed? Why on a day of rest do I have a headache? This is so unfair and hard on me.
Because you're not supposed to rest. You know?
And the fan bottom of the cup. Absolutely hate it when I take the kids to a doctor's appointment and they call me mom instead of my name. I think the doctor, not the kids. My name is not mom.
Pejorative.
My name is on the chart in your hands in front of your face. Please don't call me mom. Sincerely, Sarah, still not mom.
Does it really bother you? I think it's so cute. You don't like it?
Yeah, I can see why. If you're at the doctor for like medical help and they're like, all right, mom, and it's not about the kids. It's like, yeah, I need you to look at my goiter. Stop calling me mom.
It's weird if they call you mom when it's not a pediatrician.
Right. It's just like your doctor.
Wait, that's not what she's saying, though.
Yeah, she's saying when she brings the kids to the doctor.
To the pediatrician.
Hold on.
She's not like bringing them in with her while she gets her
When
arm
I
checked.
take the kids to a doctor's appointment, my name is on the chart in your hands in front of your face. Oh, so yeah, I can't tell if she's taking the kids to her own doctor's appointment because they just need to, they don't have anywhere else to go.
Oh my God.
Iliza just knocked her Zoom recorder over. I hope we have an episode. Go to iliza.com/tour. Also, there's been a show added to the Beacon and a late show in Salt Lake City. Get your tickets. If you thought you couldn't get tickets, maybe you can now. Go investigate. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Need turkey tips? Our Butterball Turkey Talk line is open. We'll help with what's on the table so you can focus on those around it. Call 1-800-BUTTERBALL or text 844-877-3456. Butterball. Today, we turkey.